Rolling out their next film, Disney has brought us another diverse Disney princess who kicks butt all on her own. Kudos to them. And to Moana, our newest heroine who sails the ocean, teams up with a demigod, and even runs from killer coconuts? How can you not want to know more? Hi, I'm Leo Camacho with ChannelFrederator, and we've got all you need to know about this Polynesian badass beauty. So, get your inner warrior ready, because we're counting down 107 facts about Moana. Let's get started. Number 1. Moana is Walt Disney Animation Studios' 56th animated feature film, and it was released in November of 2016, almost 9 months after their last film, Zootopia. So, you know, just in time for your next child. Number 2. This marks the first time in over a decade that Disney released 2 animated features in the same year. The last time was in 2002 when they released Lilo and Stitch and Treasure Planet. Both times they released movies involving the Pacific Islands. I smell a cartoon conspiracy. Number 3. Unlike Zootopia, Moana debuted a short film before the feature, which is a Disney animation tradition. Big Hero 6 showed Feast, Frozen showed Get a Horse, Wreck-It Ralph showed Paperman, and Moana shows Inner Workings. Inner Workings is basically Disney's version of Inside Out, following a man's journey to balance his emotions. Number 4. Moana was directed by Ron Clements and John Musker, who are widely known for their movies The Little Mermaid, Hercules, The Great Mouse Detective, Treasure Planet, Aladdin, and The Princess and the Frog. So, chances are you've seen at least one of their movies. Number 5. Moana is about a teenage girl who sets sail with the goal of proving herself as an expert wayfinder and completing her ancestors' unfinished business. Along the way, she meets a demigod, Maui, who helps her on her journey across the oceans full of dangerous creatures and obstacles. Number 6. Wayfinding involves navigating the open ocean without sextant, compass, clock, radio reports, or satellite reports. The wayfinder uses the sun, stars, and ocean to navigate their way across the seas. Number 7. Moana's story is based on a real-life mystery. Approximately 2,000 years ago, Pacific navigation came to a halt. It remained stagnant for 1,000 years, and then all of a sudden the voyagers began again, and Polynesian explorers went to colonize Hawaii and New Zealand. Number 8. To this day, historians are still unsure what caused the navigators to stop, take a break, and then resume. So Clements and Musker decided to answer that question. It was all because of a 16-year-old girl named Moana. Number 9. Moana is Disney's 14th official princess from their feature films. Let's count them all together. Ready? There's Snow White, Cinderella, Aurora, Ariel, Belle, Jasmine, Pocahontas, Mulan, Tiana, Rapunzel, Merida, Anna, Elsa, and now Moana. If we count the TV princesses, we also have Elena of the new Disney series Elena of Avalor. 15 princesses. That's a lot of royalty. Number 10. If you're headed into the film expecting a typical princess movie, you may be a little disappointed. While her father is the chief of the island, Moana herself is not technically a princess, at least not according to Disney standards. According to the demigod Maui, if you wear a dress and you have an animal sidekick, you're a princess. Does my dog count as an animal sidekick? Number 11. Moana has not one, but 2 animal sidekicks, Pua the pet pig and Heihei the rooster village idiot. Despite some promotional images, Pua doesn't actually join Moana on her journey across the ocean. Number 12. In early versions of the story, Heihei was actually a smart character who was in charge of guarding Moana, kind of like Sebastian was with Ariel. However, as the chief's watchdog, Heihei has to be mean towards Moana, and the writers found it was kind of difficult for the audience to like Heihei. Poor Heihei. Number 13. Heihei was almost cut from the film by Disney's chief executive officer, John Lasseter. Lasseter gave the writers 48 hours to figure out how to save him, so they lowered his IQ, making him a friend of Moana and someone who could get Moana into trouble, which saved his role in the movie. Heihei is now officially the dumbest character in Disney history. It's good to know that a low IQ can save your life. I guess I'll never die. Wait, what? Number 14. In Hawaiian and Maori, the name Moana means, drumroll please, ocean. No subtlety there. Number 15. Despite its Hawaiian name, Moana doesn't actually take place in Hawaii. The movie takes place in the South Pacific around the islands of Samoa, Fiji, and Tonga. Number 16. Geography lesson. The Polynesia is a subregion of Oceania that encompasses all of the islands within the triangle of Hawaii, New Zealand, and Easter Island. So, is that a love triangle? Because I love those islands. Number 17. The Italian version of the movie is called Oceania, and Moana's name is Viana. Although that decision has less to do with the geography and more to do with the fact that there's an Italian adult film star named Moana Pozzi, and in Italy, a Google search for Moana would lead to some, confusing results. Number 18. On top of that, in Spain and some other countries, Moana will be titled Baiana due to some international trademark issues. Bonus fact, vaina in Spanish does not translate to ocean. It actually translates to sheath. You know, like the thing you put a sword in. Number 19. Musker got the idea for an animated feature set in the Pacific Islands 5 years ago. He cites the novels of Herman Melville and Joseph Conrad as specific inspiration, so don't be surprised if Moana has to fight a giant white whale. Number 20. The Polynesian heroine Moana is voiced by Auli'i Cravalho, who is actually Polynesian. And just like her character, Cravalho is Disney's first ever Polynesian heroine voiceover. There's a lot of firsts in this film. Number 21. Cravalho is from the Hawaiian island of Oahu, which is just 50 miles from Kauai, where the plot of Lilo and Stitch takes place. Number 22. This is not only Cravalho's first voiceover role, but her first acting role ever. Cravalho wasn't even going to audition for the role of the movie because she didn't think she would stand out amidst all of the great submissions. Hundreds of Polynesian women auditioned for the role of Moana, and Auli'i Cravalho was the last audition on the last day of casting. Talk about a classic Cinderella story. Number 23. At the age of 14, Auli'i Cravalho also happens to be the youngest actress ever to voice a Disney heroine, unless we're counting 8-year-old Katie Lopez, who voiced young Anna in Frozen, but we'll let you be the judge of that one. Number 24. To ensure her voice was perfect, Cravalho worked with a vocal coach via Skype between her daily routine of classes, homework, and surfing. She's so cool! Number 25. Moana was released one day after Cravalho's 16th birthday. Talk about a sweet 16 present. Number 26. Another huge first. Moana is Disney's first heroine movie without a love interest. According to Cravalho, the movie isn't about finding someone, it's about finding yourself. Number 27. The demigod Maui was voiced by the larger-than-life Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. You know, the former pro wrestler turned actor known for his movies such as Central Intelligence, Fast and Furious, G.I. Joe, who is currently working on a reboot of Baywatch and Jumanji? Yeah, that guy. Number 28. Johnson's grandmother, Leah Maivia, belonged to a royal lineage of Hawaii and Samoa, while his grandfather, Peter Maivia, and his father, Rocky Johnson, were also professional wrestlers. Number 29. Moana is The Rock's second role in an animated film, as he previously starred as Captain Charles T. Baker in the alien movie Planet 51. Wild guess here, but something tells me The Rock found it a little bit easier to relate to a Polynesian demigod than an astronaut on an alien planet. Number 30. There were several months in the original story drafts where the movie was going to star Maui because of his larger-than-life personality and rich mythology. Spin-off movie maybe? Number 31. Maui's face was actually modeled after Dwayne Johnson's. Artists used The Rock's dimples and, of course, his eyebrows as a source of reference for the character. Do you smell what Maui's cooking?
Nothing?
Number 32. In Polynesian mythology, Maui is regarded by some as the Hawaiian Superman. Although the tales vary from island to island, he is one of the most prominent figures in the mythology of Hawaii, Tonga, Samoa, French Polynesia, New Zealand, and other small islands in the South Pacific. Number 33. Among Maui's most famous tales is one about how he used a giant magical fish hook to snare the sun and pull islands out of the sea, both of which are featured as tattoos on our Disney-fied version. Number 34. Speaking of Maui's tattoos, they are the only thing in the movie that wasn't animated in CG. The tattoos were hand-drawn, animated, and imported into the computer. As if animating isn't hard enough, try animating a 2D figure while simultaneously animating a 3D character. Number 35. Maui's tattoos were animated by Disney legend Eric Goldberg. Goldberg is most known for creating the genie in Aladdin, so we know that Mini Maui is bound to be funny. Number 36. Maui's tattoos serve as characters themselves, acting as Maui's cheerleaders and conscience. If tattoos can act as conscience, I would be totally down for a tatted-up reboot of Pinocchio. Number 37. The tattoos also represent Maui's accomplishments and adventures. The filmmakers consulted with expert Pacific Island tattoo artists for accuracy. Number 38. Besides his magic fish hook and his moving tattoos, Maui has another power. He transforms. In the movie, you'll see Maui as a bird, a shark, a bug, and more. But, of course, he can't do this without his magic fish hook in hand. Number 39. You may be wondering, why a bird? And rest assured, there's a good reason for it. According to the mythology, Maui had 4 brothers, but was raised by an ancestor instead of his mother. When he was reunited with his family, he had to prove himself to his brothers, so, to earn their respect, Maui transformed into every kind of bird in the jungle. Number 40. Maui's shark transformation should come as no surprise either, since sharks also play an important role in Polynesian lore. Some early Hawaiians worshipped, cared for, and protected sharks since they saw them as family gods, while others viewed them as an important source of food and tools. Number 41. Creating a character who can seamlessly transform into an animal proved to be quite the challenge for Disney animators. I guess they don't have too many morphing characters in Disney films.
Yeah, right.
Number 42. At the start of the movie, a scene plays that shows us how Maui got marooned on an island for a millennium and got separated from his hook. I don't know about you, but I'd be pretty cranky if that happened to me.
Oh, come on!
Number 43. We Know the Way was the first song written for the movie and was created to pay homage to the Pacific Island navigators. Number 44. Considering the movie's name, it should come as no surprise that the ocean itself is a character. After hearing the quote, "The ocean doesn't divide us, it connects us," Clements and Musker were inspired to make the ocean a major character. Number 45. It also comes from the fact that the Polynesians really do believe that the ocean is alive, and that it unites all of the islands together. The people of the Pacific Islands believe you must speak gently to the ocean. Number 46. For the sake of authenticity, Clements and Musker traveled to the Pacific Island region, including trips to Tahiti, Fiji, Bora Bora, and Samoa. In total, they took 3 separate trips, one for general research, one for music, and one just for visuals. Number 47. While on their trips, Clements and Musker established the Oceanic Story Trust, a team made up of anthropologists, educators, and master navigators. They advised on the story, character names, dialogue, and cultural references in order to ensure that Moana stayed true to the ideals of the South Pacific. In other words, the Oceanic Fact Checkers. Number 48. The filmmakers talked to locals as well, who gave them some advice. Know your mountain. To know where you're going, you have to know where you came from. Sounds pretty wise to me. Number 49. As spectacular as the movie looks, the Disney artists wanted to stay away from photorealism. The motto of the movie was believability, not necessarily reality. Number 50. If we were to boil it down, Moana is about a determined girl who teams up on an adventure with a washed-up guy, which would explain why Musker cites the Western novel-turned-movie True Grit as inspiration. Number 51. As mentioned, Moana is a new kind of heroine for Disney, so she's also built differently than any of her founding mothers. Moana's body is not built for strutting around in insanely tiny dresses, but instead is built to hold her own while navigating the perils of the open sea. In other words, she's buff. Maybe she could take the rock. Number 52. The filmmakers worked hard to keep Moana's femininity while still giving her some edge. They spent lots of time on her wardrobe, making sure it was both beautiful and badass. They purposely put a slit in the front of her outfit to make it easier for her to jump, swim, and fight, because God knows nobody can move in a corset. Number 53. An early version of the script was written by New Zealand filmmaker Taika Waititi, who older fans might know as the creator of Flight of the Conchords and for his latest role as the director of Thor Ragnarok. Number 54. While much of Waititi's dialogue is no longer in the movie, some of his major story beats and ideas were kept in, so he's still credited as a writer for the film. Fingers crossed that one of these ideas is a badass team-up between Moana, Maui, and Thor. Hey, Marvel is owned by Disney now, so as far as I'm concerned, there's really no reason why it can't happen. Okay, that's wishful thinking, I know. Number 55. Hamilton star Philippa Sue makes an appearance in Moana as a villager on Motunui, Moana's home island, meaning the movie is automatically more fabulous. This was Sue's first ever animated voiceover role, and we're pretty sure she nailed it. Number 56. After directing The Princess and the Frog, Clements and Musker were originally working on a 2D animated adaptation of Terry Pratchett's Mort, a novel about a character who gets offered an apprenticeship with the Grim Reaper. However, they couldn't get the rights to the character, and so the project was scrapped. Number 57. In order to ensure they wouldn't run into the same problem, Clements and Musker returned to Disney and pitched 3 completely new ideas, one of which was Moana. She does sound a little nicer than the Grim Reaper. Number 58. Ron Clements said that Moana may be the iconic duo's last movie. No! Come back! Number 59. Clements and Musker have been nominated for an Oscar twice, but have yet to take one home for a win. Getting the gold statue isn't necessarily their goal, but the duo says they wouldn't be disappointed with winning. Come on, give it to them, so they'll come back. Number 60. With their long history at Disney, it may be hard to believe, but Moana is Clements and Musker's first CG featured film. The directors joke that they're still having nightmares about animating some parts of the movie. See, everybody still has something to learn. Number 61. One of the main reasons for using CG was that the environment was much easier to animate digitally than traditionally. Can you imagine trying to animate that much water? That is actual nightmare fuel. Number 62. Moana's musical team is seriously stacked with talent. The songwriting team is made up of Lin-Manuel Miranda, Opataya Foai, and Disney veteran Mark Mancina. Lin-Manuel Miranda is the mastermind in charge of creating the historical hip-hop musical Hamilton. Clements and Musker actually recruited Miranda after his successful first production, In the Heights. The two were impressed with Miranda's ability to write bilingual songs and signed him onto the team before Hamilton even launched. Number 63. Opataya Foai is the leader and founder of the group Te Vaka, a South Pacific contemporary fusion band that has been touring internationally for over 20 years. Foai himself has written, recorded, and co-produced 8 Te Vaka albums, and on top of that, he is a singer, guitarist, and percussionist. We weren't kidding when we said talented. Number 64. Te Vaka performed the song We Know the Way at Disney's D23 Expo and also recorded a version of the song for the movie. movie, so you better get those dancing shoes and hula skirts ready. Number 65. Mark MANCINA co-wrote songs and produced and arranged the score for the musical version of The Lion King. He also wrote the score for Disney's Tarzan. Like we said, this team is a musical powerhouse. Number 66. The villain of Moana is an ancient rival of Maui, the lava guardian Teka. In the movie, Teka is after the heart of the ocean, a crucial artifact that Maui stole from him centuries ago. Number 67. Every time Teka appears on screen, there are approximately 10 layers of animation happening at once for things like fire, smoke, and water splashes. Number 68. During the later end of production, the story team was only a few hours ahead of animation. A piece of dialogue would be written and then a few hours later would immediately go into animation, meaning there was little room for error while creating the film. Number 69. At one point in the film, Moana and Maui encounter the Kakamora, a creepy group of walking coconuts. You heard right, walking coconuts.
They're kinda cute.
The Kakamora are like pirates, I guess. They travel on a massive boat full of trash and will do whatever it takes to get what they want. The Kakamora end up chasing Maui and Moana in a scene that was inspired by Mad Max Fury Road. Number 70. Moana is actually the most technically advanced animated film. With the ocean being a critical part of the movie, Moana is approximately 80% visual effects shots, whereas Big Hero 6 was less than 50%. Number 71. Of that 80% of effects shots, 65% of them were water effects. They wanted the water movement to look very natural, so Disney had to design and build a special water effects engine in order to pull off those beautiful effects. And the engine is appropriately named Splash. One of the first water simulations was called the Toddler Effect. Number 72. Before adding some of the characters to the story, the animators did calisthenics tests to ensure that the characters had the range of motion they needed. Pua the Pig was one of the first characters who was tested. Poor little fella. At least he passed. Number 73. What other simulators did they use? Well, Disney actually created their own software that was basically a hair simulator to make Moana's hair as lifelike as possible. The simulator moved her hair around on its own, instead of the animators having to draw how the hair moved themselves. Hey, that's a time saver. Can they make a simulator for my job? Number 74. Because of its large reliance on effects, Moana couldn't have been made 5 years ago in terms of technology. Imagine what animation's gonna look like in another 5 years. Number 75. Since Moana is a musical, Dwayne Johnson will be singing and rapping for the movie. If you want to get a taste of his musical skills, check out Journey 2 Mysterious Island, where Johnson broke out the ukulele and gave us his rendition of What a Wonderful World. Number 76. Dwayne Johnson also frequently sang during his pro wrestling career, which Lin-Manuel Miranda and the musical team studied in order to compose songs that would fit his voice. Miranda wrote the song You're Welcome, which features Maui and tells the story of how his magical fishhook impacted South Pacific culture. Number 77. Moana opens with a scene that might have audiences experiencing deja vu. It starts with the story of creation and the world of Oceania, and a song that sounds a bit similar to Circle of Life. Hey, we don't mind that. Another Lion King similarity is that just like Simba, Moana is friends with a pig. Number 78. At the Cannes Film Festival, John Lasseter compared Moana to Pocahontas, Little Mermaid, and The Lion King, which is some serious praise. Number 79. An Easter egg parody of Moana was teased in Zootopia as the cat-inspired South Pacific musical Moana. You can also see a parody of Disney's Gigantic and Frozen 2. Number 80. Another Easter egg, Maui's hook can be seen in Zootopia as a decal on Finnick's van. Sneaky, sneaky little fox. Number 81. And the Disney Easter egg tradition continues. It's been confirmed that 2 characters will appear in Moana, Flounder and Olaf. Considering the fact that Flounder lives in the ocean, that shouldn't come across as much of a surprise, but according to Musker, Olaf's inclusion will also make sense. I can't wait to see how a snowman ends up in the South Pacific. Musker said there are a few other Easter eggs in Moana as well, so be sure to keep your eyes peeled in theaters. Number 82. At the D23 Expo, it was hinted that Heihei was modeled after John Musker, and that Pua was modeled after Ron Clements. The directing duo has a history of inserting themselves as cameos into their movies, and we don't blame them. Can I get a cameo? I mean, just give a character big eyebrows. Number 83. In their previous films, Musker and Clements usually made cameos as minor characters. They've appeared as 2 men in Aladdin, 2 men in Hercules, and a robot and an alien in Treasure Planet, 2 wedding guests in The Little Mermaid, and 2 men in The Princess and the Frog. Number 84. Before the movie even came out, Fijian boat makers were ready to sue Disney over intellectual property rights. They claimed that Disney used the design for a traditional Fijian boat called a Camacho without their permission, or that of Itau K Affairs. Whether Disney legally needs their permission or not is still in question and is being investigated. Number 85. Disney animators put some of Auli'i Cravalho's quirks into Moana. Just like her character, Cravalho and Moana touch their hair a lot and tend to ramble a bit. It's so adorable. Number 86. The El Capitan Theater in Hollywood hosted a Ron Clements and John Musker film festival in October 2016 as a countdown to Moana. They screened the previous Disney films directed by Clements and Musker, and the audience got to see special presentations presentations by the creators and voice actors, along with some Q&A sessions. Number 87. When working on animated films, Musker and Clements always try to create a spectacular sequence that can only be done in animation, which would explain the living, moving ocean in Moana. Animation has no limits, people. Number 88. Moana is a critical part of Disney and John Lasseter's goal to add more diverse characters to the roster. Lasseter said that people usually associate Europe with fairy tales, but Disney is now stressing the importance of expanding out to find fairy tales and legends from all over the world. Another reason to love Disney. Number 89. Back in the day, finding a female wayfinder would have actually been pretty rare, as they lacked a certain body part that was used as a tool. In order to determine the ocean's swell, wayfinders would typically sit naked on their boat and feel the movement in their testicles. Okay guys, whatever works. Number 90. Disney veteran Alan Tudyk, who is a Juilliard alum, provided the voice for the thick-headed rooster Hey. It's harder than it sounds. Crowing is tough. Tudyk has previously lent his voice in Frozen, Zootopia, Big Hero 6, Phineas and Ferb, and Wreck-It Ralph. Number 91. Originally, it was rumored that Moana was going to be developed in a new style of CG animation, in a similar style of Paperman. Unfortunately, it's still too early for Disney to create a full-fledged Paperman-style movie. Technologically speaking, the interface has a number of production issues, including problems with color. Number 92. Moana stars many New Zealand actors who are part Maori, including Jermaine Clement, Temuera Morrison, and Rachel House. More diversity points to Disney. Number 93. Temuera Morrison stars as Chief Tui, Moana's overprotective father and leader of the island. Unfortunately, her father's worry for her causes him to not support her desire of sailing the seas. Hey, I'd be worried for my kid too. Did I mention the ocean is alive? Number 94. It's not just Moana the chief is protecting. Everyone in the city is forbidden from going beyond the reef due to the danger that lies outside of the island. But once a darkness comes to the island, Moana breaks the rules and sets sail to find a solution for her people. You go, girl. Number 95. Nicole Scherzinger has a role in the movie as Sina, Moana's mother. Scherzinger herself has Hawaiian and Filipino roots, adding to the film's well-deserved praise for casting actors with actual Polynesian heritage in a movie about the Pacific Islands. Number 96. Sina is much more supportive of her daughter's wishes, but she still has to argue both sides and keep the peace between Moana and her father. I mean, hey, somebody has to. Number 97. Rachel House stars as Tala, Moana's grandmother and the resident village crazy lady. Tala has a very close relationship with Moana because of her shared love of the ocean, making Moana feel closer to her grandmother than her parents. Tala even encourages Moana to go on her journey. Number 98. Moana is also like her grandmother in that she follows her own rules. Tala pretty much does as she pleases and goes according to her instinct. She also keeps all the stories of their ancestors but will not reveal the ancient secrets to Moana until the time is right. Ooh, mysterious. Number 99. Another supportive character? Moana's pet pig Pua. Sure, pigs can't talk, but Pua is always right there by Moana's side. Pua puts Babe to shame. Number 100. In a role that could only suit him, Jermaine Clement voices the comically villainous 50-foot giant crab Tamatoa, who also happens to live in the realm of the monsters. Clement is no stranger to comedy, being one half of the comedy duo Flight of the Conchords, so Tamatoa definitely has plenty of Jermaine-isms. Number 101. Tamatoa is super into himself and covers himself with anything shiny he can find. Bling bling, y'all. He wants to be more than just a bottom feeder and has a strong hatred of Maui. Number 102. The studio created a special physics-based graphics simulator named the Matterhorn for the snow in Frozen, which has since been upgraded from Moana to handle mud, foam, sand, and even lava. I guess they should now dub it the Moana-horn? The Moana-horn? The Matterwana? I don't know. You get the point. Number 103. For you graphic nerds out there, Moana is Disney's second movie to support images with high dynamic range, or HDR. However, most movie theaters don't have the super high quality projectors for that, so you'll have to go to specific theaters to see the movie in its highest quality state. Number 104. It's worth the extra miles. The filmmakers spent lots of time on the details in this movie. Even if a character's wardrobe was only on screen for 6 seconds, they still spent a ton of time making the outfit absolutely perfect. Do it right or don't do it at all. Number 105. In case you didn't guess it, Maui is a few thousand years old. Looks good to me. What's his secret? Oh right, he's a god. Clement said that Maui owns any room he walks into. Well yeah, of course he does. He's the freaking rock. Number 106. Maui must have owned a lot of homes during the 2016 Olympics since Moana got a TV spot during the NBC coverage of the games. Maybe wayfinding should be an Olympic sport. Number 107. Most reviews of Moana by entertainment outlets have been positive, including those from Entertainment Weekly, The Hollywood Reporter, and Screen Daily. Go Moana! Thanks for watching 107 Facts About Moana. Which character is your favorite? What kind of princess would you like to see in the next Disney film? Comment below and let us know. We have new videos dropping every week, so let us know which animated film or TV show you want us to cover next. And if you like getting more from your cartoons, subscribe to Channel Frederator, because remember, Frederator loves you.